What is up, y'all? Welcome to Solo Game Day here at Heavy Cardboard, which is the continuation of Albin Viard Week here at HCHQ. So awesome. Teach, play, and discuss medium and heavy strategy board games, war games 18XX. I am your host, Edward Euler. Happy to be joined by y'all because it's Solo Albin Viard Game Week as well here at HCHQ. So it's you and me, and here we are. All right, today I am busting out the Tramways Engineer Workbook designed by Albin Viard and published by Albin Viard, or AV Studio Games, which is his company. That actually is Tramways, which is what the Tramways Engineer Workbook is based on. So welcome everybody watching live around the world as well as after the fact. I have a bunch of information on the front end of all of this, but before we get to that, a big thanks to all the patrons who helped choose to support the show, because without them, this ain't happening. So thank you to the patrons. Thank you to everybody out there that chooses to watch this and listen to the podcast over on heavycardboard.com as well. So if you guys do enjoy this today, give it a thumb down below, subscribe to the channel, and if you want access to the Slack channel, teaching notes, and all that other perks that patrons get, you can go to pledgehc.com, support the show there. All right. So as I said, I have a bunch of information for you guys. Albin Viard, unfortunately, his wife just got home from the hospital where she works. So he wanted me to pass along a hello to everybody. He and I have been talking pretty much every day this week via email. And some things. So I have, like I said, a bunch of information. So first and foremost, Albin has 2 Kickstarters running right now. None of this stuff this week is sponsored. Let me preface that. I'm just conveying the information to you guys. So the first one that I will mention is the second in the the Pulp magazine games he's done with Todd Sanders. The second one is currently on Kickstarter right now. That has, I think, 5 days left. So if Jess is around, she will link it in there in chat here, or right there. There you go. So there's that. 5 days left for that. The second one, which to me is a big deal, and this has about 50 hours left from the time right now live. This is a Kickstarter that he has for the Clinic Deluxe, the expansion, as well as the COVID-19 co-op module that he designed, because he said he felt weird that people are playing his game and with what is going on right now. So this one I am definitely helping promote. So I'm streaming this tomorrow. So you can get that, which is Clinic Deluxe. You can get the extension as well there, and the COVID-19. Or if you already have that, you can get just the COVID-19 expansion little module. And he is donating some of the proceeds to help with COVID-19 research. If that's not a reason to support it, go and do that, and just link to it right there. So that's awesome. That's amazing. Support that. Even if you don't want the game for whatever reason, because you don't like hard games, I guess, or you already have it, go support that. I'm definitely going to when this is over as well. All right? Okay. So those are the 2 links for Kickstarter stuff that's going on. Now, as I said, Albin and I have been conversing daily during this, and I was like, hey, Albin, I can't find my rule book for this. And he was like, here, and he shot me the rule book. He also said, hey, you know what I can do since you're streaming all this stuff? How about I make a coupon code for your viewers? So if anybody wants what I'm streaming today, here's what Albin has offered to do. There is like a mini expansion for both the engineer's workbook as well as for Tramways itself. It's the Tramways conductor's manual. That's the rules for it. It comes with, well, here, I'll show you this real quick. It comes with these, here, the little trains, all right, and special rules, and you can include those in your game. He's going to give those away to you for the first 50 folks that order this from his website. So here are the rules to be able to do this. You register, have an account there on his website. You put the Tramways Engineers Workbook and the Conductor's Manual in there, and you use the code. Let me get the code. It is Heavy Cardboard 20. So all one word, Heavy Cardboard 20 in the baskets, and you'll get these for free. In addition to that, he also dropped the shipping down to €2. So you're getting €6 for free, I guess 5.9 euros for free, which is what that is. Or actually, he made a discount of €6. Plus, the shipping's going to be €2. So there you go. First 50 available. So there you go. And that is good. Today is what? Friday the 29th? You have until midnight on the 31st to do this. Say again? The code is Heavy Cardboard 20. So Heavy Cardboard 20. All right? And that's the link that Jess just put in there. There you go. So that is available basically for about 36 hours. So go order it if what you are going to see today. If you like it, go order it and you get that for free. So yay, free stuff and cheaper shipping. So thank you to Albin for that. And thanks to y'all. I think that's it, right? Oh, no, I lied. There is one more thing. This is cool. So check this out. There's an upcoming expansion that's going to be coming. This is going to make it available for fans to be able to make their own maps for what it is that I'm streaming today. So he said there's that and that. So those two sheets are going to be for fan-made expansions for what it is that I'm going to be streaming today. So that's just a little teaser of what's coming. So that's cool. So there you go. Yes, I have multiple trains. Giovanni says he only got one. I think you only need one. I think you only get one. I think he just sent me a bunch. So my bad. All right, you get one. But you get the rules with it as well. So there you go. All right. Cool. All right. Whew. That's a lot of information. So, that said, let's actually get into the game, shall we? All right? Y'all ready? I'm ready. Cooper, you ready? Cooper's passed out. Oh, no, he's not passed out. He's just laying down right here, just chilling. What's up, buddy? So he's just chilling. He's getting very acclimated to being here, so awesome. All right. Yeah, there you go. One last note before we get into this. If you have Tramways, forget everything you know about Tramways, in a sense that this follows the rules, but you don't need to know Tramways to be able to play this. This is a complete standalone thing. This is for solo only or two-player. A lot of the maps, I believe there are 48 that come in this, 48 puzzles in the workbook, and I'm going to show all of the, well, maybe not all of them, but show you a bunch of them. So solo play as well as two-player, duo play as it's called. So let's get into it. I'm ready, y'all ready. Let's get into it. So there we go. And that is throwing me off. There we go. All right. Can we see Cooper? If he decides to show us, then yes. If he decides to stand up, he's laying down right now. But, all right. So what I've decided to do is, because there might be people that are unfamiliar with Tramways, I actually am going to start out playing Tramways, the very first map. of the 48, okay, here. And what comes with this is you get the book, which is 48 sheets, which I'm going to show you guys. Just, there you go, it gets, okay, it's all of that. It comes with a piece of plexi that you put over the top. I couldn't find mine, so what I did, and this makes it really, really easy, is got a Ziploc bag, cut it in half. I got one on this sheet, one on this sheet, because then you get a dry erase and you're good to go. So it comes with a rule book, it comes with the book, and it comes with the plexi, so you don't need Ziploc bags. But if you don't have the plexi, you can use a Ziploc bag. There we go, easy enough. All right, so I figure I would start super simple, which this is extraordinarily basic, but that doesn't mean that it's not worth exploring. So we're gonna start with this one. Depending on how long this goes, we may do another one later on in the book. I will leave that up to the peanut gallery, partially, but also depending on how long this goes. So I am gonna do a full teach of this because it's not going to be terribly complex or very long. So you do not need to know anything about Tramways, the regular Tramways, to be able to play the Tramways Engineers Workbook, because this game, if you start in episode 1 of 48, it will teach you how to play this game as we go along. So, that said, let's go ahead and dig into it, shall we? You are the financial director of the small city tramway company, the biggest tram company in all of Small City. But you have decided to enroll in an internship to take over the seat of the current CEO, Nabla Draviv, which is Albin Viard backwards, by the way, the famous founder of this lucrative urban transport company. Before that, you need to train with 48 challenges, all of which will teach you more and more aspects and different situations of this complex job. In each step, you will face new difficulties, and you will have to manage them with more details and parameters as you increase your specialization. Only a future great leader will have shoulders strong enough to bear so many problems. But tell me, what were you doing at this moment? Still reading the rules of this game? What if we just said, you know what, let's get your training started now? You are not going to let Mr. Drive run everything forever, are you? All right, and then there's a little note from the designer, from Albin, says, hey, you don't need to know the rules for Tramways. So let's get into it. All right, so it's a 98-page book and a dry erase marker, as well as the pieces of plexi. There we go. All right, so the game is set up in a sense, sort of. We have our piece of plexi, or Ziploc, as it were, on top, all right? So the basic premise of this game is we are normally, and all of the rules are going to be contained within these two sheets, in a sense that all of the components are going to be here outside of, again, the dry erase pen. Normally, it's going to take place over 6 rounds. All right, some are going to be fewer, some are going to be more, depending on the specific puzzle. All right. And then as we go along, we will mark those off. To start a puzzle, you're going to draw a passenger, which you can just draw a circle as a passenger. I'm not going to just draw a circle, though. For a passenger in each building space. All right, so as you can see, let's go ahead and talk about what it is that we're looking at. Over on this here, we have the actual map that we're going to be running things on, okay? It shows episode 1 of 48. It shows what the prerequisite is to win, which I will go over that here in detail. This is just a cool little first player marker, but this is also the conductor manual. I am not going to be including that in the play. I'm just going to have it up here to show you guys what you get. And the extra ones I have, whatever. All right, so we have the map. These are empty hexes, as you can see, and then there are different types of destinations, all right? We have residential destinations. This is going to be one big residential destination. Even though it takes up 2 squares, it's going to be one residential destination. So there's going to be a passenger in each square And when we connect to either side of these, it does not matter where it's connected. Both passengers will be able to exit or enter on either one of these. So it does not matter. That is essentially the same as this, except it's going to have two passengers. Okay? And it does not matter if we use the left one, the right one can leave from the left side, whatever. That doesn't matter. So we have residential here. We have an industrial here. We have two commercial destinations, and we have a leisure destination as well. So that's what we're looking at over here on the left page. Then over here on the right page, we have a couple of different things. All right, we have the round track over here, as well as some other details that will go associated with the different rounds. Then we have tickets, and the tickets have different icons over them. I will go over the icons here in a little bit. Then we have, if you want, you could leave, hey, today's date and, different notes if you're going to play this multiple times, because a lot of these you're going to fail, and it's going to take multiple attempts to do so, so maybe you want to keep notes on there. Then up here in the top left-hand corner, it shows that there's going to be 2 actions per round that we're going to take, and then the reset phase, how many tickets you're going to get back. But I'll go over that more in detail here in a little bit. So that's pretty much everything that you're looking at here, all right? At the beginning of the book, again, we are episode 1, you're going to have 2 actions available on a given turn. So over the course of 6 rounds, you're going to have a total of 12 actions available to you, okay? To be able to take actions, you're going to use these various tickets to be able to take actions over here on the main board itself. So now let's go ahead and talk about the various tickets and what the various icons are on them. So we'll start with this ticket down here. This ticket only has 1 icon, but there may be, as it is right now, a total of 3 different icons or 3 different available actions or icons on each ticket. This ticket only has a single thing which will allow you to build a single link over here. I will go over the details of that in a little bit. Just know that that is a single icon for a single link to be built. These 2 tickets only have a destination on them. This being a destination for the industrial destination, and this having a destination for the residential as well. Moving up, this ticket has 2 different icons, and this ticket has 2 different icons. The residential and a single link, and then an industrial and a 3 link. So this is not 3 different actions. This is 1 action with 3 different links on it. And then finally, the top 2 tickets have 3 different action icons on them. They have a destination, which obviously the commercial or the leisure. They both have 2 link icons in them, so that is available for building 2 links each. And then finally, over on the right-hand side, they have a magnetic strip. That is going to be able to move passengers. So think of it as like swiping like a credit card. You need to have the magnetic strip to be able to move passengers as you go along. Now, with our episode, so episode 1, there are only 2 available actions for us to be able to take on a given action. You may either build links or move a passenger, okay? So now that you know what the 2 available actions are, let's actually go over what those 2 actions are, or in detail. So we'll start with building a link, okay? You can either build 1, 3, or 2, or use a combination of cards to be able to build links. So let me go ahead and give a little bit of a better example. And I should also point out that we also have a Kleenex here to be able to wipe off stuff. So on a given action, you're going to mark off cards, just putting, say, like a little simple little X to say, hey, I used that card this turn, so I can't use it again. So we'll just clear that off, but you get the idea. However, you are only limited to the number of cards that you have out here to be able to, for the length of building a single link. A single link is going to be complete or incomplete between a starting location and an ending destination. And it could go either way. You can call either end either way. What you cannot do in a single action is build, say, from the leisure to the residential, and then build, say, from the residential to the commercial in the same action. Those are different builds. Does that make sense? You can only build from one location to one location using as many links as you want or that you have available, but it's from one to one. You can do an incomplete link. So for instance, you'll notice that to be able to build a link, you're going to need to go from this leisure to that residential, some mix of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, possibly longer. So if I wanted to use, say, this 3 and that 1, that's only 4 of the 6. So I would then draw 4 of it, and then I would put what round it is. So let me show you. When you build links, each of these segments can only be one of two directions. It can either be a straight line, going literally a straight line from one side or the other side, like that, easy enough. Or you can build a 90-degree link like that. Or you could build a 90-degree link like that, or like that, or like that. Those are all of your available actions for building, okay? Those are the only directions in which you can build. So let's go ahead and remove those real quick. So, as I said, let's say I wanted to build here to there. So that would be 6 links. And let's say I want to build an incomplete. So I use that and I use that. That's going to be a total of 4 links. So maybe I do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that's incomplete, so I'm going to put that I built that in round 1, okay? The reason for that is I must extend this link in the following round, or I have to erase that entire link. I do not have to complete it the next round, but I must extend it. And I do not have to extend it all the way, as I said. So let's say on a subsequent round, maybe I choose to just use this, and maybe I choose to build like that. I'm not saying I would, but maybe I do, and then that would be in round 2. That's just a little reminder to myself that I have extended that so I don't have to erase it. So hopefully that makes a lot of sense, and there you go, okay? All right, but let's say we do want to complete a link, because completing links is how we're going to be able to move passengers and deliver passengers out on the board. So instead of doing all of this, let's say, as an example, I choose to use this card, and this card, and that is a total of 3, 4, 5, 6 links. I am not allowed to build 1. I am not allowed to build 2, 3, 4, or 5. I just said I'm using 6 links. I have to build 6 links. And you are only allowed to build on a single, between a start point and an end destination. So even if I want to only use 5, I have to use 6. You get the idea. And I can do it however I want, but let's say I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is a complete link. However, to complete a link, whenever you do complete a link and you build a complete link, not only do you need the 6 links there, but in addition to that, you must have a card that has either the start or the end destination to be used. And it must be a different card. Now, if you are familiar with Tramways, you are used to being able to use multiple icons on the same card. You cannot do that in episode 1. Okay, so forget that. Instead, you must do a different card. So in this case, we used 3 links, 4, 5, 6 links. Those 3 cards are used completely. So therefore, I have to either use an L destination, which you've seen I've already used that, I cannot, or I can use an R. Well, thankfully, I do have an R available, so I would actually have to mark that off for the first action. I use 6 links and the R, again, it can be either end, to complete that. And now I have done my first action there. Good to go. Awesome. I've completed my first action. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. Now, if I had only gone, say, from the R to the C, and I didn't do that, maybe I would use this card for the 2 links, and maybe I use that R to be able to complete that. So I didn't have to use that, but I'm just giving an example, okay? So hopefully that makes sense on building links. And if there are any questions, well, you guys can ask it and I can answer it here in a little bit. All right, so that is one of the 2 available actions or options for an action that you can take on your first turn, all right? And remember, there are handy dandy little passengers on each of these. So here, because I'm going to erase these and draw them a little more fancy here in a little bit. All of these have passengers there. Okay, at the start of the game, it'll be like that. So now you might be asking yourself, what is the second available action that I can take? Well, I'm glad you asked. Or the second option, that is to move a passenger. Thankfully, we have a magnetic strip that we have not used yet. So to be able to move a passenger, and the circles are the same as my fancy passenger here, all right? So to move a passenger, you must use a magnetic strip, okay? So, and you have to use a ticket using a different destination. So let's say I want to move this passenger up there. I have to use a magnetic strip, and then this is an important point. If this is the passenger moving, the destination is going to be the green residential. So if you look here, I have a magnetic strip, which I would use to move the passenger. So I would mark that off. And then the destination is the residential. So I'm good to go there. Yay. However, if I wanted to move either of these passengers, and again, they're all in the same building, so it doesn't matter whether it's this one or this one. If I wanted to move that passenger down to the leisure, remember when building, you could use either end for the destination, right? Here, you cannot. It is very specific, meaning if I want to move this passenger or this passenger to there, I then have to have a magnetic strip and the destination, which in this case is the leisure building. So I cannot use this one or this one to move these passengers that way. I have to specifically use that one to move them this way. I hope that makes sense and you understand it's a subtle but very distinct difference between building, you can use either end, or when moving, it's got to be the end where the passenger is going. Okay? So hopefully I haven't belabored that too much. All right, so moving a passenger says, hey, I then moved this passenger that way, so we're going to erase that passenger to show, hey, that passenger no longer exists because he has gone to the residential and now he's just kicking it on his couch watching, I don't know, maybe a heavy cardboard stream. So awesome, there you go. And that would be the second of the 2 available actions. So that is the 2 options and the 2 actions. Now, you do not have to do different actions for both of your actions. You can move a passenger and then move a passenger, provided you have the tickets available. Or you could do a build and a build. Or you could do a build and a move passenger, or a move passenger and then a build. There is no limit to what you can do. Any order, any mix of those 2 available actions. You may also pass. And pass is pretty simple. You put an X up there to say I'm passing. The end. You might not want to, you don't get anything for doing it, but you might have built yourself into a corner, so it 'tis what it 'tis. But then there is the second half of the round. The second half of the round is what's called the update. First off, somebody had asked here in chat, what does this symbolize? Well, what that means is once you have performed both of your 2 actions, whether it is build, move, or pass, you may then get 3 tickets back. So I use those 6 tickets. Let's say for next turn, I want to use that one, and I don't know, that one. So those 3 are still unavailable for this turn, but it is what it is. Then step 2 is new passengers arrive. New passengers then arrive in every empty building space that matches the current round. So in other words, it is round 1. So new passengers will arrive in residential spaces. But you'll notice that those residential spaces are currently full. Well, if that's the case, then they do not get more passengers. If, let's say, we had moved that passenger, and again, it does not matter which one it is. If it were in that case, then we would add 1 new passenger. If they both were gone, we would add 2 new passengers because that is a 2-passenger size building. That makes sense, I hope? All right. Only these get added in that round, okay? The third phase is this. It's complex, so get ready for it. You ready? There you go. Done. You mark off what round, you begin a new round. The goal of the game for episode 1 is whatever that says. That says deliver all passengers, or have 0 passengers left out here, having delivered all of them. Okay? When you played the last round, check to see if you met the victory condition. If you did, go to the next puzzle by flipping the page. If not, start again and take a different approach. There we go. Done. All right. That's how you play episode 1 of the Tramways Engineer Workbook. Now, as you can see, things get a little bit more complex as we go along. So we'll see how it goes, all right? But that said, let's go ahead and clean everything up. I will bring the chat up, bring the camera up. Anybody have any questions, please chime in. If not, we will get started. I have not played a single one of these ever. So I do not have any strategy laid out. I do not have any experience with any of these, so I may not win this. Over under Glory to Rome's, I will set 2.5. And, well, either I pass or fail on this. So we will see how it goes. Wow, I've completely butchered where the book was. Let's fix that. That's going to bug me. There we go. And I'm the first player. There we go. All right. All right. Hey, what's up, y'all? All right. Cool. I am just checking. Nope, we're good. Okay, good. So, place your bets on whether or not I'm going to win. Oh, and Giovanni points out the Denver map from HeavyCon 2017 for Tramways is available at Amblin's site as well. So there we go. All right. So, here we go. Y'all ready? Let's do this. So, notice in round 6, no new passengers come. So they're not going to add in at the end. That would be just cruel, right? All right. How similar is this to Tramways? How similar is this to Tramways? Let me tell you, Ben. Let me tell you, Ben. Identical, honestly. There is an exception to that. The first episodes, from what I've been told, the first puzzles, they don't have all the rules. Like I said earlier, as this goes along, and in Tramways, you can use multiple actions on the same card, but it induces stress. Stress is going to cost you victory points. And notice, I did not mention victory points at any point. As this goes along, you're going to have to deal with stress, which is a negative game condition in this. It's going to cost you victory points, and you're going to be trying to get more victory points or money as the game goes along. In Tramways, there's also a multiplayer auction, which the auction is unlike any other auction in any other game I've ever played. So similar, but different. And this is for solo. So there we go. All right, yeah, exactly, like Yorick said. So, quite similar to the solo game, but different in many details. And now I get the hiccups. Why does this only happen on stream? I don't get... Whew. All right. So residential is going to get more passengers. Oh, we need to put passengers out. My stickmen look bad, just so you know. So I'm going to try and draw meeples. My hands are shaking. I'm going to say it's not because I'm nervous. It's because I need sugar or low blood sugar. I don't know. He's like a kicking. Hey. Conga, or like a kick line or whatever. The residentials, they haven't been getting much exercise. Yes, he has 3 legs apparently. Let's not judge. Okay? They haven't been getting much exercise because quarantine. Commercial, these guys definitely have. These are our essential workers out here. If you're just joining, don't forget, you get the free engineer or the free locomotive and $2 or €2 shipping if you order this in the next 48 hours from Albin. All right? All right, good. So we have passengers now. So let's go ahead and figure this out. We have 2 actions. I mean, that seemed like a pretty good build to start with, right? Now, another thing, if you guys are familiar with Age of Steam, it is not always the best idea to make the shortest route. So, for instance, if this leisure wants to go to this commercial, there may be, not on this map, but later on, there may be incentive to go leisure, to residential, to industrial, to commercial. Also, I do want to point out that a passenger must always stop at the first color of where their destination is. So in that example, going leisure to residential, residential to industrial, industrial to commercial, and then coming over to this commercial, this guy would have to stop, or this passenger would have to stop at that first commercial. It could not continue on to the second commercial. Also, for legal builds, coming or on a given on a given square, there are at most a total of 2 builds that can be done on these. One can be this way, and if so, the other can be that way, or on opposite corners for the 90-degree turns. You cannot have more than that. You could have this corner and that corner instead of those 2, but that's it. Those are your 2 options for building. I do want to clarify that as well. So, all right, good. And the nice thing about the rule book on this, and then I will finally get started and quit stalling, is it only teaches you the rules for that map as you go along. All right, so that's pretty cool. All right, anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. I'll be honest, I kind of like that build to begin with. Another option is I could build a 2-link like there, and then use that ticket and that ticket to move it. Or I could just do, because again, it doesn't matter points or the length or anything. It's just get rid of the passengers. All right? And Yorick says you should look at the refill pattern and plan around when things get refilled. Okay. So the goal is to get rid of these guys. So I don't want them to refill, right? So I don't want to deliver these guys yet. Now, if I delivered that one, that's okay, because it's not going to refill then until at the end of round 4. All right? Hey, Alexander. All right. So you know what? Let's do something different. So I'm going to build from, we have an industrial, and there's only one. It's only going to refill once. So let's go ahead and get rid of So maybe we don't bother delivering right now. I'm not going to plan this out super long. By the way, only one person has placed their bet. Am I going to fail or succeed? Let's go. Win or lose? What's this going to be? So that would be a 2 build. So I will build using those 2 links, and I will build using one of the 2 ends. One of the 2 ends and 2 links. So we will go there, and because choo-choos, there we go. So I have built 2 links, one, and we'll just put a line there to show that. 1 link, 2 link, and one of the 2 ends of this is with the eye. Okay, got it. So that is one of our 2 actions. Done. All right. So now what do we want to do? Remember, we're going to be able to clear out 3 of these. Okay. Wow, BB. Jeez. All right. So now, I think we go ahead and use another 2 links and this to go ahead and build from the commercial to the residential. Using residential as one of the 2 ends and 2 links. So coming from here, my hands are really shaking bad. Apparently I'm terribly nervous about this. So that is 2 links there, and then the residential for the end. Boom, done. That is both my actions. Does that make sense? I hope so, because that's pretty simple. So now I get to reclaim 3 of these tickets. So I'm going to reclaim that one and that one. So now the question is, which one of those do I want to reclaim? I think I reclaim the residential. So that is the 3 that I get to reclaim. New passengers arrive. No passengers got delivered, so none happen. And now we do that complex 3rd one. Whoop, woo. There we go. New round. Round 2. I appreciate the confidence from everybody but BB. I think this is Portland breakfast again from Seth Smith or Smith Teas in Portland. God, that stuff's good. All right. All right. Right. So we have commercial refilling here, right? So I think building more links makes more sense. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I like that. There. Oh, God, what do I do for my last action then? Ooh, hold on. In like Age of Steam, normally the amount of stops you get will get you some amount of income, money, victory points. But in this, again, none of that matters, okay? If I did 7, what the hell do I do with my second action? Or I do... Could do 6. And that leaves me... yeah, let's go ahead and do a 6 link. So that's going to be a 3 and a 1 for 4. And then I will do the leisure. No, we'll do the commercial just to show you guys this, because I think I'm going to be able to do this. Okay. Well, hold on. Nope, check that. I'm going to do actually the leisure one as well. So it's going to be, that's 6 links, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. And yes, you can just draw a single straight line. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, really? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 links. 6 links. And I have to use either so I will do that one for one of the two ends. Okay? That makes sense? I mean, I could do it a different way. I understand that, as Yorick is pointing out. Yes, I probably should go backwards. You're right. I'm just not overthinking it. Well, actually, that might be a problem. That's going to be a problem. Let me erase that and try that again. I had not taken my second action yet. I hadn't even marked off my first one. So that's not a mulligan. That's allowed. So on second thought, we're going to use 5 links. Yeah, 5 links. Hold on. Nope. Let's try this again. Trickier than it probably needs to be. So then, if I go 2 links, blue, so I would need to use those 2. There it is. There it is. So I'm going to build 2 links there, and then I'm going to use the blue commercial to connect them. So we'll go like that. Thereabouts. So that's 2 links in using a commercial. There we go. All right. Then I'm going to go ahead and use, that's action number 1. It's now marked. Book it, Dano. Okay. Take my little piece of tape off here. Just trying not to make a mess. All right. So now I will go ahead and use 5 links, 3. Oh God, did I screw this up again? Well, hold on. Hey, this shouldn't be this hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But the problem is 3, 4, 5. It's not going to residential. I think that actually is okay. Yeah, I'll show that. I'm okay with this. So I'll do 3, 4, 5 links. I do not need a destination for what I'm about to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The reason this is round 2 is it's not complete. I cannot complete it. I use 3, 4, 5, and that doesn't have any, so I'm not using that card. Okay? So there we go. That is both of my actions now. So second round is done. So I get to reclaim 3 tickets. Well, I only need 1 more build. So I think I will, and I forget I have an eraser on this end. There's 1. Because I only need a single build there. And then I will reclaim that one. That's 2. So I need that and that. And then that and that. And I will reclaim that one this round. So that is my 3 that I have reclaimed. New passengers arrive. Again, it would only be on commercial. They still have passengers, so nope. And round 2 is in the books. It's funny, I forgot I had an eraser. All right, round 3. There we go. So round 3, I'm going to choose, hold on, let me complete these. And there you go. Round 3, I'm going to complete this link. So I need to use one link and a residential or a luxury. All right, leisure, sorry. But that one's not available, so use that one. Might as well, okay? Now I could use this one, but I cannot use both symbols on the same card, remember, as it is right now. That's complete, boom, done. That is action numero uno. Well, Albin's French, so une. All right, everything is connected now. In theory, this should be okay. So now, what I will do is I'm going to move a passenger. To move a passenger, I'm going to move this passenger to a residential. So I need a magnetic strip to move any passenger, and then a destination for where that passenger is going, which is residential. So I'm going to be using the magnetic strip and going to residential. Now, because this is a super basic entry-level puzzle, distance doesn't matter, how far you're going, what you're going through, none of that matters. So literally, I can move this, or that passenger into there. What I cannot do is move this passenger into there or that one to there, because they're not connected. They're in the same building. If I wanted to do that, I would have to build a link. Just because there is that, this is the same building, they have to actually go on rails. So they cannot just go bloop with no ticket and no rail connection. So that is not legal. Okay? All right. But you know what? Commercial has already been filled. So let's go ahead and say that passenger ceases to exist. Welcome to the Twilight Zone. And that was the second action. All right. So now I get to reclaim any 3 cards. All right. So what 3 cards do I want? All I'm doing at this point is moving passengers, probably. So I will want that one. I will want that one. But I'm not going to be able to move multiple passengers. Ew, tricky, tricky. So hopefully I didn't screw this up without thinking through this. So it'll be those 3. New passengers come out in industrial. Oh, hey, can't. It's not empty. Okay, done. So round 3 is done. By the way, this looks horrible. We're going to fix this. That's bugging me. It's bugging y'all too, I know. Right. That way you guys can read the letters. There we go. All right. And again, with the little sheet, it's heavier than a piece of Ziploc bag, but it works the same. Okay. All right. Hey, Tails. All right. So we are now into round 4. So I have 2 actions. Action number 1 is going to be action number 1 is going to be to deliver using the magnetic strip to commercial. So I use the magnetic strip and the destination to move industrial guy to go shopping. So on his way home from work, he went to the supermarket. So that delivery is complete. And Twilight Zone, he ceases to exist. Action number 1. I'm going to pass for my second action. Okay. Get 3 actions back. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay. Leisure. Nope, no new passenger because there's already one there. Whoop. All right. I really hope I didn't screw this up. That'd be embarrassing, but here we go. All right, we're going to deliver the residential. He's going to actually, he now has been told that they're allowed to go back to work after working at home for the last, or not working as it were. So going to deliver to an industrial. So we need a magnetic strip, say there, and it has to be to the destination. So going from residential to industrial. So that one, Twilight Zone, ceases to exist. Action number 1 done. Okay. Action number 2 is, you know what? Maybe the movie theaters have opened up. Social distancing still happening. So this passenger is going to go to leisure and go check out latest movie, which movies aren't even coming out right now, are they? But indulge me. So, cannot check that. Somebody working at the movie theater is actually going to go home. Oh God, I screwed that up. I don't want to do that. Let's put them back. Golly, I am not good at this game. So we're going to take those 2 back and that, because I would fail otherwise. Because that. So instead, this passenger is going to go home. So one of the essential workers in a commercial area, so maybe restaurant, essential, bar, whatever, going to residential. So I'm going to use that. So that's the ticket and going to residential there. There we go. This one is going to go. Jeez, Eddie, this isn't that hard. That's action number 1. Sheesh. Okay. Now action number 2 is using this ticket and going to industrial. That one's going to go. There we go. So he's going to go. Good. That's action number 2. All right, so now we get 3 actions left. Going, oh God, I am going to fail, aren't I? That's awesome. Oh, I'm an idiot. All right, 1 action, 2 action, 3 action, done. No new customers come out or new passengers come out in residential. That round's done. I have 2 actions left. I only have 3 tickets. So that guy is going to go to industrial. So using a ticket, going to industrial. That's done. Oh, that's hysterical. That's 1. Action done. Action number 2, I only have 1. So I have the ticket, but they got nowhere to go. I lose. I am a moron. That was fun, though. I was going to show you a more difficult one, but just goes to show, you cannot go willy-nilly. You actually have to plan it out, even in episode 1. So, do as I teach, not as I actually play. That's the lesson learned here. BB, I have failed you people. But you know what I have done? Actually, I would like to say that it was planned. So maybe it was planned. I didn't ruin a thing for you guys. I showed you how not to play this game. So I have actually added one whole new puzzle back into the workbook for you guys that I haven't ruined. How you like that? See? There you go. So, you know what? Honestly, instead of playing another one, since I failed this, I'm not allowed to advance. I think what I'm going to do is I will go through the rules on a couple of other ones and show what they do in all seriousness, and show you guys some of those. Okay, yes, I realize what I did wrong, but nonetheless. So let's go ahead and I will show you guys those. And there we go. Those are now clean. All right. All right, so let me bring up the sheet. I actually have the rules here. So I'm just gonna, so puzzle number 6, I heard that is, and I'm not going to teach you guys how to beat the ones, because obviously I can't even beat the first one. Puzzle number 6 is taking people on BGG. I saw like 10 attempts, 15 attempts, stuff like that. So let me go ahead and talk about, and these can be cumulative. And what I mean by that, let me show you guys this. So episode 2, and there's a reason that Albin has them laid out in the order that he does, okay? Episode 2, there is a new space. This is a mountain space, so any of these are mountains out here. Again, if you're familiar with tramways, you'll understand what these are. These cost an extra rail. So in other words, to be able to lay across here instead of 1 rail, it costs you 2 rail. So I'll go through like the first 10, and then I'll pick a couple others just to show you guys, okay? Then, in the third one, these are lakes. These cannot be built on. Okay, hold on. I want to make sure you guys, I'm showing you guys, right? Yeah, there you go. Because I can't see that because I have the rules up. All right. So, cannot build on lakes. So you need to be able to build around, but you can build on mountains because we've already covered mountains back here. That makes sense? All right. Now, number 4 here, this is going to show new rules. And you'll also notice on this, it is to get rid of passengers. That's what matters in all of these so far, is just to get rid of passengers. Okay, just like what I attempted and failed to do here. So these require rail workers now. You must use a rail worker in addition to the normal icons in order to take any rail building action once per action, not per rail. Okay, and not per link. So in other words, to build, like we normally, you would need some amount of links. You would need a destination icon. Notice that some of these have multiple destination icons. You still can only use one. But in addition to that, you have to have a rail worker. This is true in the regular rail tramways as well. Okay? You start the game with 2 rail workers. So you circle number 2 on here. Whether building a complete link or working on an incomplete link, you have to use a rail worker. If you don't have any, then you cannot build rail. So that's the new rule on that. However, you'll also notice that there's going to be a new phase up here. So you take 2 actions, but the new phase is called self-help. And just before the update phase, meaning here, okay, if you have a ticket with a rail worker icon, and if this ticket is still available, you can use the ticket, meaning use this ticket, all right, to get 1 more rail worker. Okay? You can never have more than 2 rail workers. So in other words, you can use the ticket, if it's available, to add 1 more rail worker to a maximum of 2. So this is teaching you some of the more complex rules that are actually in Tramways itself. So hopefully that makes sense. All right? All right. So that is episode number 4. Okay? Now, moving on to episode 5, nothing new on this one, rules-wise, except you'll notice that you have 2 rail workers. Same phase is going to be available there, etc., etc. Okay? However, I noticed episode 6 was kicking people's butt on this. Whoa, there's a whole lot more information on this one. So, there's a new goal. You got to make 65 bucks. We haven't even talked about money yet. So, all right? So you have to finish with $65. But there's now a new phase there. And also, you'll notice here that this can be played as a 2-player map. Okay? I'm not going to go into the rules on that, but they are on page 12. I will just show you guys as a glance. Oh, I'm sorry. Page 12 of the rule book, not of this. Sorry. So I can't show you that, but doesn't matter. Moving on. So there is a modified self-help here. okay? Allows you to get money from unused tickets. So again, take 2 actions, self-help, and then unlock 3 of them. But again, you'll notice that some of these tickets have money available. So you either use this for rail or for money. This one you use for money or for the magnetic strip, okay? So you get whatever the money is there. And then down here, you're going to be able to write how much money you've accumulated, and you can just cross it off, so on and so forth. Okay, so this is apparently taking people upwards of 10, 15 attempts to do this one. Okay, all right. So moving on to number 7. There's a new rule. Well, first off, also can be played 2-player, $105, but there's a new rule here. Transport to commerce. Whenever you transport a passenger to a commerce building, so delivering a passenger to here or to there, all right, you earn $5 in addition to normal revenue. Okay? All right. Oh, let me back up. There's one other really big important rule I missed here. Money is introduced, and this is right here. So you start the game with $0. However, this is why I said sometimes the most inefficient route is ideal. For each link, meaning each segment, 1, 2, 3, you're going to get $1 per link that segment that passenger, not link, per segment that passenger went to. So as it is, 1, 2, 3, that passenger moving from residential to commercial will get you $3. If you did it here, going 1, 2, 3, 4, remember those are cost more to build, that would be $4, but delivering to commercial would actually be a total of 9. 4 for the segment, or for the segments, plus 5 for delivering to commercial. So there you go. That's number 7. Okay. Number 8 does not do anything new, except it's just it's another map for you to do. $115. And then finally, number 9, there is a new space. These are rivers. It costs 3 links to be able to build across. Mountains require 2. Lakes are still impassable, but bridges require 3 links. Okay, fine. I'll do one more. And this one, $79 is a goal, but there's actually a new goal here. Finish the game with a passenger on each and every building space. So it's the dead opposite of what it is we've been trying to do. And you have to reach $79. And then there are development tickets as well. Not all of the tickets depicted are available at the beginning of the game. These down here, see these? These tickets are not available to you. Each ticket below the line is unavailable until you unlock it. When you deliver a passenger to a commerce building, you then can either take $5 or unlock one of these tickets. And then it becomes a normal ticket. $7 and or a magnetic strip, so on and so forth. So you get the idea. So those are completely different. And then, we look at this. Now we have stress out here added. That was pretty impressive because this is actually the one where it introduces stress. And you can see there's a whole lot more going on over here on this map. So there you go. And how much is this on Albin's site? Let me go to the very beginning. Just linked it. Let me see. This is 25 euros, $2 and €2 shipping, plus you get the bonus. That's pretty good. There's a lot of game in this. So there you go. All right, 25 euro for 48 of these, plus, and there's a 49th on the back. Plus, there's going to be a little expansion coming out that are going to allow player-made expansions. So that's pretty good value. If you're a solo player, it seems pretty good. So about 30 bucks. So there you go. All right. Ben says it's official. Need to try out some more VR designs. There we go. Brianna. And again, you can play them co-op, you know, like 2 players trying to, because some of these get really, really complex, okay? They get difficult. And if you watched any of our earlier Tramway streams, the regular Tramways, some of the expansion, dude, those are brutal. So yeah, there's a lot of game in that. That's pretty good. 42 bucks Canadian shipped, Wembley says. It cost me. And apparently that's past tense, meaning Wembley just bought it, I assume. So there you go. All right. Tails Teller, I like where your head's at. Not a failure. You win the possibility of playing it again. That is 100% true. So there you go. All right. Where is it? What did I do? Oh, right here. This, what Giovanni's asking about, you can use this. All of the Tramways rules and Tramway Engineer Rulebook rules are the same except those listed below. So this, that you get for free with the Heavy Cardboard 20 code, that you get this with, the rules here, it can be used for the workbook or Tramways, both. So there you go. So go support Albin. Go check out the Kickstarter. Remember the Kickstarter, you have Clinic, the expansion, and Clinic as well. I'm going to be streaming these tomorrow, or at least Clinic, the base game, maybe. Probably not the expansion. We'll see. I do not have the COVID expansion yet. I'm going to be getting it. But go support the Kickstarter. It helps support COVID research. There's no downside there. So there you go. So 1 player, 2 player, whatever for the Tramways Engineer Workbook. Yeah, I mean, hard to beat that, honestly. All right. So BB says, I just bought my copy. Hopefully I can do better. You can't do worse. Think of it that way. Okay? All right. So awesome stuff. So thank you, everybody. That was fun. Even though it's kind of embarrassing for me to fail on, but hey, just goes to show it's not rigged, right? All right, cool. And Brianna says getting the COVID expansion as well. Good. As soon as this stream's done, I'm going to go support Albin over there. And again, this isn't sponsored. I don't make any money off of if you guys go and buy any of these. The discount, we get no kickback. Albin just said, hey, you want to do that? And absolutely, I want to do it for you guys watching. But you want to make my day? You want to make my entire day? Sell it out. That would make me happy because Albin, he's having a rough go of it. His wife, Corinne, works at a hospital, so she's on the front lines with there. He's got 4 kids. Anybody with 4 kids dealing with the kids home right now, you get whatever you want. Jess, so you get whatever you want. So yeah, go sell them out. So all 50 of those. That would make my entire day if you guys can do that by the end of the month. So you have about 36 hours, 35 hours, whatever it is. But there you go. All right. Yeah, Zach says, won't make it tomorrow. Put in that Clinic will be a loss tomorrow. Noted, and I agree. All right. Cool. Oh, no. Stacy says, I tried the Heavy Cardboard 20. Try it all in caps. See if that matters. If it didn't, shoot Albin an email. He will fix that and he told me the code. Make sure also that you have registered on his website. That's the other thing that he told me you had to do. There we go. Oh, God, hold on. Don't go anywhere. There is one more thing. I'm glad that Giovanni brought this up. It made me remember something. There is one other really big deal that I forgot to tell you guys. Okay, last thing. In the email, I will release a new set of Age of Steam this year in November 28th, 2020. So he is going to be making more his Essen sets, even though there's no Essen this year or Spiel. Cyprus and Tibet, which is a reprint with new graphics from Todd Sanders. Tasmania, Venezuela, and a weird solo map, Halloween/Japan. He's going to reduce the amount of quantities available, though, for this year's set because I won't be able to be as crazy as the past year with all the stuff that he has in a pipeline, which you may want to watch some streams this weekend to hear about what's coming in the pipeline. I'm just saying. So there you go. Maybe only 100 to 150 sets this year, not more. We'll see how it goes, though. So there you go. That's coming November 28th. I forgot to mention that. That wasn't like a, watch till the end. I just forgot. My bad. All right. Oh, there you go. So make sure if you copied the link that there might be some empty spaces on the front end. Just type it in, Heavy Cardboard 20, and that works, apparently. There you go. Good. There you go. Awesome. Thank you, guys. That was a lot of fun. Thank you for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the support for Albin and for me over here. Give it a thumb down below. Subscribe to the channel. All of that stuff helps the show. Go to pledgehc.com if you have a couple bucks every month. I certainly would appreciate the support. Many hands make light work. It allows me to continue to build the show up and just support the show and helps keep my head above water as well. So I certainly appreciate the support, guys. Thank you very much. Cooper, come here. You want to say hi? Come here. He's looking at me like, what? It's hot. Come here. No, he just laid down, rolled over. Sorry, guys. No Cooper today. Maybe not this weekend. He will be over at his other house. But you will see Cooper next week. And I will say this. Figured out what chair I'm getting. I'm really excited about it. You guys will see it next week. Anyway, join me tomorrow, 1500 for Clinic Deluxe. And then we're building up to it. All of the things that you guys have seen the last few days, building up to Clinic and building up to Small City on Sunday at 1500 Eastern as well. I will see you all then. Continue social distancing. Wear your mask. There's no reason not to. Be smart. Be kind to one another. Support the show. Support Albin. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Happy Friday, everybody. See y'all later. See, that was a win, people. I'm telling you that was a win. Just because the game was a failure, but like they said, I have the chance to play it again. Awesome. All right. Have a good one, guys.